Hey families, today we're going to do one of my favorite conversations because we're going to talk about mission, vision, and values. Kenzie and AJ, we actually did this same exercise a few years ago. So before we get into it with our families today, why don't you explain what you guys did and how it impacted you?
Well, we printed out a piece of paper and then we got a pen. We wrote on that piece of paper our mission, vision, value.
Yeah, and then we taped it up on our pantry. So
and it's
every day,
still there.
Yeah, it's like 3 years later. So every day we'd go get a snack and we'd see our mission, vision, and values, and it's just a little inspiration to get us through the day.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now we'll get to those in a second for everybody so that families, you can do this for yourselves at home. Did you guys accomplish, now that was a few years ago, and it was a 3-year exercise, so now you can look back, how did you do? Did you accomplish what you did set out to accomplish?
Some of it. I got some of it I didn't get, but eventually I got to. Like the time frame I gave myself, it's like, it was here and I was like, there.
So give one example, because what you did, like vision was saying, in 3 years I will be here doing this.
Yeah.
So give one example of something that you had on your box as a 7th grader.
Well, I was gonna mentor some of my friends, like help them with like videos like this one, like within a month, and I didn't do it for another year.
You were a little ambitious.
That's okay.
Little.
And that's all right. Sometimes you can set big goals for yourself. You don't accomplish all of them.
You had something in sports and GPA. What were those?
I did get both of those, 4.0 GPA, and make my high school basketball team, which I did both of those.
So that was good. And so you would see that, though, your 7th grade year, your 8th grade year, and you were kind of reminded of those goals, right? So it was kind of inspiring, Kenzie, like you said. Mm-hmm. Okay, what was on yours?
Mine was a lot of academic stuff, and I was probably like 98% success rate.
So what did you not get?
Well, I said I wanted a 4.0, but I got an A-, so 3.96.
Those darn minuses.
But the college I wanted to go to, I'll be going there in the fall, and different scholarships and other academic goals. I've met them all.
Yeah, you have.
Now, did we, 3 years ago, do you remember, did we fill those out for you?
No.
Yes.
It was all us.
Did we for you?
Did we help you out a little
helped
bit?
us tone it down a little.
Yeah.
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 But
Like when I was ambitious. Like I said, a day. You bumped it to a month.
Yeah.
So do you think it was important that you guys did it for yourself rather than we said, here's what you're going to do in the next 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because then it's not your mission. It's not your vision.
Yeah.
If you don't have the same vision as who wrote the thing, then how are you supposed to accomplish it or be motivated to accomplish it?
Right.
Yeah, you have to take ownership for the things you want to get done.
Yeah.
Or initiation.
All right, so we're going to put the image up for you now because here's what we want you to do for yourself. So here's what we're talking about. These 5 things: your values, your mission, your vision, your strategy, and your culture. So just real quick, we're going to walk you through an explanation of those things, and then you can download that worksheet for yourself and do what these guys did, and hopefully in a few years look back on it. So let's start with values. Values are the principles that matter. So you guys came up with, I think, 5 values, like core value, things that you believed in. Do you remember some of your values?
Well, one of them, like AJ mentioned, was helping people,
Yeah.
being helpful to your friends,
Being a leader.
being a leader, academics, like working hard.
Yeah, hard work was one of them, I remember. So those are having a good attitude. So
Right.
those are values. And again, you guys each made up your own. Here are the things that I consider to be valuable. And it's good for, I think, for students to think through that. So that's the first thing there on your list. Now, the next thing on the list is a mission statement. And it's a kind of a personal mission statement. It's like a little, just one statement that says, here's why I exist. Like, here's why, like, I exist for this, right? And so that might take a while. Maybe parents want to help students think about that mission statement. Parents, you can do the same thing, by the way. But I think one of the most important things is your vision statement, because if you remember that your vision statement was in 3 years or 4 years, you can decide how long, right? But in 3 years, this is what I want to be true of me, right? This is the vision that I want to be true of me. Right?
Yeah, I think that the vision was the most motivating for you guys, I think. And to see it today, to see that, for you, the university you wanted to go to was on that list from 3 years ago, and you're seeing that accomplished.
Yeah.
That's really the motivating piece that kind of reminded you to keep working hard and get where you wanted to go.
Yeah.
Now, to get there, though, and let's put this image back up so that you can see this picture. To get to the vision, you need a strategy. And this is where it's really helpful for you to think this through. What are the things that you'll actually do on a regular basis? And to make a list of 5 things that you say, these are the things I'm committed to doing, to get to that place where I'm a straight. So let's say that your vision is to get straight A's, So what do you have to do today? What are some habits you need to establish today
Right.
to get there? What would it be an example of some habits you would write down to get to that vision?
Homework.
Yeah, I think I wrote down like study an hour every night or something.
Yeah.
Just little things like that.
Right. Because otherwise, it's just the vision. The vision is just a pie in the sky.
Yeah, it's like a dream.
It's
Right.
a dream, and
Yeah,
you're
AJ,
not,
one of the
yeah.
practical things for you was to make your high school basketball team.
Yes, that was practicing basketball every day.
Right, you go out and shoot, you were doing drills and stuff, yeah. You worked hard at that.
So there's this 5th thing, though, and it's your culture,
Oh,
right?
gosh.
And again, we're going to put that image back up. So your culture is actually what you do today, and what for most people, their culture, their daily habits don't actually line up with the strategy that will get them to that ultimate vision. And
Right.
that was kind of the funniest part of the exercise is when we said, okay, now write down your culture. What do you actually do today? Remember 3 years ago when we asked you to do that? Is write down the normal things you do on a daily basis. What were some of the things you guys wrote down on there?
Watch TV.
Netflix.
Netflix,
Yeah.
Sleep.
Yeah.
Eat.
friends,
Yeah.
Friends, kind of.
yeah.
And so what did that kind of open your eyes to anything? Do you remember a few years ago when you wrote that down, you said, well, this is what's true of me today, and this is where it leads if I don't actually make some
Right.
adjustments,
Yeah.
right? Kenzie, did that impact you back then?
Yeah, because I just realized how much of my time was spent to like things that aren't going to do anything for me. So if I just kind of switched my focus and my time over to something else,
Yeah.
then I could be where I am today.
Yeah, and AJ, I think you've realized when you do watch Netflix, you are at least are aware of like, wow, I spent a lot of time watching TV today. Whereas if you didn't pay attention to your culture or didn't have a vision for where you wanted to go, you probably wouldn't think anything about that.
And it's what everybody else is doing.
Right.
So
Right.
I appreciate that you guys took ownership of that a few years ago. You're not perfect, but you really do sort of set some boundaries because you have your own vision, your own goals in your life, and I think that's really good. So parents, I think for you guys and students to do the same thing, you can download the worksheet down below this video, and you can go through the same exercise that these guys went through. In fact, AJ is probably going to do this again because you're starting high school. Kenzie, maybe you'll do it again for your college years, and you guys can do it. And then compare notes, come back together in a week and talk about it, put it up on the pantry door like these guys did, and hold yourself accountable to it over the next few years.